want to show you where my county is. My county is called Vihiga, and I have an image of my county from space. And I've shown on that image the counties that are my neighbors. I have Siaya in the west, Nandi County in the east, Kakamega in the north, and Kisumu in the south. My presentation will follow the following outline: a brief introduction, our legal framework on which GIS and Earth observation is anchored. Because if you don't have a legal framework, it becomes very difficult to promote any technology within the governance system. I'll then cover in detail what we have developed as our County Development Information System, popularly known as CDIS, which we are using as our foundation for planning and decision making. I'll then look at sustainable development in relation to our CIDP, that's County Integrated Development Plan. All policies, as you heard yesterday, must be based on an agreed plan. So in our case, we have an agreed County Integrated Development Plan, which forms the basis on which we undertake our development agenda. Then I'll be able to give you some of the practical applications. We have used GIS and Earth observation in decision making as regards to SDGs. Then I'll be able to conclude my presentation. Under introduction, I don't want to waste any more time. I'm talking to a very well-informed audience on what Earth observation is, what GIS is, what sustainable development goals are. So those are just definitions or descriptions of what those terminologies mean, and all of us, we are aware about it. Earth observation platforms, we are very, very well versed with all the platforms, so I again will not want to waste more time. Satellite imagery, particularly high resolution, is a very, very important resource of data for planning purposes. Aerial photography and other latest technologies like drones are very, very important in capturing data in real time. So those are technologies that all of us are well versed with, and I won't spend time, but I just wanted to put it in perspective. To be able to have GIS and Earth observation as key sources of data analysis and data acquisition, you need a legal framework. And in our case, we have been able to do so. We have the County Government Act of 2012, which anchors GIS into a planning process where all counties must have county integrated development plans. So when you are elected as a governor, the first assignment is to prepare a county integrated development plan, which is people-driven. And within that plan, you have to have all the inputs that the local populace would want included in their development agenda. And generally, we have a 5-year development plan, but also we have 10-year sectoral plans for various sectors. And all these, according to our legal framework, GIS is the framework, or is the technology that must be used. And therefore, the Act obligates counties to establish GIS-based database system to be used as a tool for decision-making for development of those plans. Also, we have a presidential order number 26 of 2018, which has established the Kenya Space Agency to be able to make Kenya be one of the countries that are aspiring to develop a space agency that can acquire data using various platforms, particularly satellite, so that we can acquire information in real time. So Earth observation is a recognized source of data through acquisition using satellite and other platforms. So with that legal framework, we can be able to operate, because that's how governments operate. Governments don't operate in a vacuum. They operate within a very specified legal framework. So these frameworks are the basis on which our counties operate in terms of acquisition of data and information and planning. So as a county, when I got elected as a governor of Vihiga County, one of the main tasks was to establish a GIS laboratory, which then would be able to fulfill the legal requirement of the law that governs the county governments. The previous leadership had not done so, so I was obligated to do so. And in establishing the GIS laboratory, I had to partner with various partners. And ESRI was the most logical partner, because when I was a member of parliament, I also worked with the ESRI to establish a GIS laboratory at a constituency level. So I had to partner with ESRI in the establishment of our GIS laboratory. And among other partners were the Airbus, who were in our partnership. We have agreed for them to provide us high-resolution satellite imagery of 0.5 meters. So we are able to access to that data at a well-negotiated cost. We also have worked with FAO to ensure that we get the right equipment, and also FAO being focusing on agriculture, we have focused on our county is basically an agricultural county. So we needed FAO as one of our key partners. Among other partners were the European Union and a local company called Locate IT, which has specialized in application of geoinformation technologies in the development agenda of the counties. So we were able to commission this laboratory sometimes in May this year. And this was commissioned by the Minister in charge of devolution, Honorable Eugene Wamalwa. So how have we configured our information, or what principles do we follow in establishing or in the establishment of our database? We have three principles or three items that we have considered. First and foremost, we need information for planning of any of our development agenda. So information is so crucial. in our planning and development agenda. So that is the first consideration in our development agenda. Therefore, information forms the basis of our development agenda, because it's through information and data that you can make rational and biased decisions. Because under normal circumstances, politicians, we are very unbiased. We are very biased. We always make decisions according to our own interests, the interests of our supporters, and other interests, either long-term or short-term. But with data and information and using the GIS analytical capabilities, you can come up with rational decisions that are informed based on data. So with the data and information, you can then now come up with the initiatives. So number 2 is, after you've done the analysis and everything, you can come up with the various initiatives, which are development initiatives that are also well informed by the local people, based on the CIDP. Remember, I said that we must have a county integrated development plan first. So based on that, you can come up with various development initiatives. And these initiatives are aimed to have an impact on the society. There should not be just initiatives to do projects because you want to do them. They must have a direct impact on the community. So the 3 I's are our main principle of operation in terms of development agenda in our county. And we hope to do the same for other counties. So in doing so, we have developed what we popularly known as County Development Information System, or CDIS, which is an integrated platform that helps to interlink departmental data and information in Vihiga County to help in effective planning and decision making, as well as monitoring. I have 10 departments or ministries, and all these ministries, whatever they plan, whatever project they plan, somehow those projects are interrelated or they interact. And therefore, we have to bring all these players together. And out of that, we have been able to come up with various CDIS subsystems, which we have developed as our data information system to help us in planning process. So we have developed quite a number of them, about 22. They are all listed there. I don't want to go through all of them. So we have from land information system, agricultural management systems, transport management, all of them, to revenue collection systems, accounting and financing. All those we have developed so that we can be well informed on all the decisions we make. So having all those systems, you have now a foundation on which to be able to use that information to develop or to undertake various projects. And our CIDP is wholly based on the SDGs, because we were lucky after the election, the SDGs had just come out, and it was a government policy that all our CIDPs must embrace the 17 SDGs. So our CIDP is actually informed by the SDGs. So I'll give you some examples of what we have been able to do in the last 2 years of my leadership as the governor of Vihiga County, what we have been able to do using the database we have collected, assembled, and by the way, this data is updated continuously. It's not static. So we continually collect information. We have people on the ground who collect information in real time. We have given them smartphones where they are able to collect information. We have GPS systems, handheld, where information is collected in real time. So I'll only look at 17 SDGs where we have been able to do quite a number of projects, but quite, I would say, as they are related, you discover that despite I'm showing 7, but you'll see that they are all interrelated in many ways. So we have addressed the issue of zero hunger, SDG number 2, good health and well-being, number 3, quality education, clean water and sanitation, industry innovation and agriculture and infrastructure, climate action and life on land, and partnerships. So I'll give you some examples. For example, on hunger, what have we been able to do? We have done mapping of farmers for subsidized farm inputs. We have identified farmers who are poor and they require farm inputs like fertilizer, certified seeds, so that they can improve their production of food. And that we give them as subsidized inputs. And in doing so, we have mapped out farmer groups. Also, we give dairy animals, dairy cattle, so that they can improve their well-being. Dairy goats, local and improved chicken. We have also done construction of aquaculture, that's fish farming in the county. And all this information is derived from high-resolution satellite data, where we map farmers, their farms right on using the high-resolution satellite data. So we can be able, we map them with our GPS system, we link them to our GIS system, and therefore we can track. We know the size of land they have, we know the soil types, the soil type on the farm, and the type of fertilizer and seed that they require. So with that information, we are able to get to the farmers that actually deserve. Because when you offer free agricultural inputs like fertilizer and seeds, everybody wants to get it. Even the rich ones, they want to get free things. Somehow people love free things. So we have to find a way to be sure that we have the right people. And you can only do so if you do this data. You can identify the person up to the farm level. We have been able to give them various support, like in this case, improved local chicks, so that they can do poultry farming. We have been able to give them seedlings to farmers for coffee, for tea, for avocado, and many other seedlings, so that they can improve their production. We have established fish farming, fishery aquaculture. That's where we produce fingerlings, where then we are able to give to the farmers to have fish farming within their own small farms or within their own homes. Because with the new technology now, you can have fish farming within your compound because you need just to make fish ponds, and with the liners, you put water there, and you put fish there, and you feed them. And after 6 months, they are ready. So we have a hatchery where we are able to produce those fingerlings. So that's where our hatchery, where we do the production of fingerlings. The hatchery is called Mwitoko Fish Hatchery and aquaculture. We have a training center where farmers are trained on how to do aquaculture. On good health and well-being, we have quite a number of programs. We do the mapping and classification of our health facilities using satellite data and ground personnel. So all our health facilities have been mapped and geo-referenced, and all the socioeconomic data and technical people there have been mapped. The diseases occurrence in those facilities have been mapped. That helps in the distribution of drugs, because we don't want to give drugs to areas where those drugs are not going to be used, because the diseases that are used, the diseases are not the ones that those drugs are targeted for. We do monitoring and evaluation of ongoing health projects, also using both satellite technologies and our ground-based data collection. We have started a program which is famously called Ottichilo Care Program for expectant mothers. We realized that the mortality rates for our expectant mothers was so high, was about 600 per 100,000, when the average for Kenya is just about 60 per 100,000. So we had to put in a very affirmative program to ensure that all our expectant mothers are mapped. We have mapped and we continue to map expectant mothers everywhere, so that once mothers become pregnant, we map them, we put them in our system, and we track them, and we ensure that they go for antenatal clinic. And we have their numbers, their telephone numbers, and the day of going to antenatal screen, we track them. And to make sure they go, when they don't have, we give them some stipend to go to the health center. And we have linked to each one of them to what we call community healthy worker, to ensure that that day she must go to the clinic. And as an incentive, we give them a stipend so that they can go to the clinic, and after that they can buy some fruits on the way back home. We also have supply of drugs and equipment to health facilities. So every health facility, we will tell you what is there and what is the status. We have a dashboard which gives us all what is happening in all our health facilities on a daily or a weekly basis, because we have people there 24 hours. So we have a dashboard which we can be able to interrogate, and we can do so anywhere. We will show you the link where you can get that dashboard. So we monitor and evaluate the ongoing health projects. We monitor the Ottichilo Care Program. We also monitor the supply and equipment of drugs in all our facilities. For example, I'm just giving an example. This is one of the facilities where we were installing a CT scan so that it can be used effectively in diagnosis of various diseases in some of our health facilities. We have trained what we call community health workers, and those are the ones you can see there, who actually are with the community in every village, every 10 households. We have a community health worker to ensure that whatever issue arises in that 10 households, they are able to monitor and take remedial measures. We have trained them to have first aid intervention, so we have them having first aid kits to be able to intervene before they can recommend the person to go to any hospital. And under Ottichilo Healthcare, we monitor the ladies And when they are due to give birth, a week to giving birth, we ensure that they go to hospital. We take them to hospital so that within the week they are in the hospital to make sure that by the time they are ready to give birth, everything has been done. And this has really changed the mortality rates in the county in the last 2 years. So that's one of the examples where I was receiving some of the first children that were born under that program. We receive drugs, and after we receive drugs, we monitor them. So as we receive the drugs are planned where to go, and we take inventory of the drugs, receive them, and therefore, anytime they are in the health facilities, the health facilities also track what drugs are being utilized and how they are getting depleted so that we can restock. So we have that program of monitoring of our drugs. That is one of the theaters, just monitoring some of our theaters in our health facilities. The other area of importance under the SDGs is the quality education. So we, under the county government, were tasked to be in charge of technical and training of our youth, and the ECD, the education dealing with the children at nursery school. So we have mapped and classified all our TVET institutions, all our ECD education centers, and we have used this satellite data and ground-based collection of data. We have done construction of TVET institutions and ECDs, and we have all mapped them. We have also started a program called Ottichilo Scholarship Program, a program that gives scholarships to students who are going to secondary schools who come from very poor families. So we also track those students. We map their homes, and we are able to track them all through from the time they get on the scholarship program. And equally in the supply of the learning materials and equipment. So on our high-resolution satellite imagery, we have mapped all the TVET institutions and facilities, and if you click on each of them, you'll get all the facilities that are there, the people who work there, and everything to do with that, the courses that are done, that are taken there, and so on and so on. Equally on our ECD schools, classrooms, we have mapped them, and this is one of the examples where we are opening one of them. And under the Ottichilo Care scholarship programs, once the students are on a program, we take care of them 100%. We buy for them books, materials, uniform, transport, and everything. And every time they come on holidays, we have a mentoring program for them. Those who want to be doctors, we expose them to our health facilities. They meet our doctors and they are mentored. So it's a program that is quite popular. So that's an example of one of the beneficiaries of that program on her way to school with her box. Under TVET programs, we have equipped them with the various equipments. Like this one is a TVET program which is dealing with beauty therapy. So we had just given them all the beauty equipment and for beauty therapy and all those things that do with that, go with that. We also those that deal with the electrical, that's for electrical students. That is, we have bought we have TVET, which deal with the mechanical and motor vehicle. So we have bought them engines and everything so that they can assemble and dismantle. And in the process, they have practical way of being able to do the TVET programs. Under clean water and sanitation, we have mapped all the reconstruction of water supply schemes and piping, construction and supply of water tanks to schools. Under sanitation, we have bought new exhausters and garbage collection trucks to ensure that we carry out our function of garbage collection, and had run down. It had become too small, and the equipments had, the works had deteriorated. So that's what it was before. And therefore, we've started to expand that water works through expanding it, and you can see a new construction going on. And we can monitor this. We monitor this in real time to ensure what is going on. That's now the piping that is ongoing. Then we can put the high-rise water tanks for the supply, and after that we can do the piping. We also provide water tanks to schools to ensure that they tap roof catchment in our schools, to ensure that if the water systems break, sometimes you have a problem with the electricity, it goes off quite often. So we have at least water from roof catchment. And those are how the small children are able to use the water. That is our newly acquired exhauster, which we use for sanitation, emptying up latrines that are full and getting the waste to a treatment plant where we are planning to treat it and convert it into fertilizer for enhanced farming. That is a skid loader for cleaning, collecting garbage in our towns. Under industry, innovation, and infrastructure, we are in the process of constructing a granite industry factory, which processes, our county has a lot of granites, very hard stones, and we want to process those stones in various products. So we are in the process of, in collaboration with the ministry, we are in the process of constructing that factory. Yeah, so under that, we are also constructing 3 industrial parks within the county to ensure that everything is done well. So we have construction of 3 industrial parks to do agro-processing, because we are an agricultural county. So we are in the process of doing that. We are also monitor our construction of roads. We have mapped all our roads in the county, and we are under various classification system and their conditions. So we are able to know the conditions of various, most of our roads, and when we are coming up with maintenance programs, we already know which roads to maintain. So we have that, and we have worked with the national government to do so. To improve security and improve our business in our markets for 24/7 businesses, we are in the process of constructing high-mast floodlights so that people can do business 24-hour. So that's the area where we will be building the factory. We have identified the land and everything. So we are in the process of doing the rest. And very soon we shall be able to put a factory there. Those are sites of where we are going to put our industrial park. To promote our industry, some of our TVET institutions, we have equipped them with various machines to produce equipment, to produce spare parts and so on. Like this is a fit and turner machine for fabrication of spare parts. This is how our roads are being done and how we ensure that they are all mapped. And that's the final completion after construction. That is an example of our high mast floodlights. That's before they are put up. And that's when they are put up. Climate action and life on land. We are involved in reforestation. We have our place, Maragoli Hills, which is our main watershed area where most of our rivers originate. The hills had been degraded. We are now doing reforestation and the Kibiri Forest. We have come out with a climate policy, county climate bill. We are replacing eucalyptus in all our riverine areas with the bamboo so that we can restore the rivers that have dried due to planting of eucalyptus in those areas. So this is a reforestation program on the Maragoli Hills. So as a governor, I have to lead them as a good example. Those are seedlings that as a government we have bought. Those are bamboo seedlings for reforestation of Maragoli Hills. So we give them out to the people, and we organize days when we do the planting. These are some of the seedlings we give to the farmers, like these ones were avocados. We were giving them out to go and plant in their compounds so that they can use them as fruit trees, but also as improving the environment. Those are ladies who have been given the seedlings to go and plant. And that is the law, a bill that I was being given to sign, the county climate bill, to sign it into law. Those are some of the examples of growing of our bamboo in our riverine areas. Partnerships, under SDG, we have quite a lot of partnerships. We have partnerships with the Lake Region Economic Bloc, where we have come with about 14 counties around Lake Victoria, and we are working together as an economic bloc. And Vihiga has been chosen to spearhead ICT and geospatial data for sustainable development. We also have a partnership at a national level, the open government partnerships, where again, Vihiga, we are the lead county in spearheading of open government partnerships using geospatial data and information for good governance. At international level, we have various partners who are listed there, ESRI, FAO, ESRI Middle East and Africa, ESRI East Africa, Airbus, Locate IT, and many other partners. The benefits of GIS and Earth observation data, I don't need to talk about it because I've actually demonstrated the benefits. But all the benefits of these technologies are all there, and therefore I don't want to elaborate. If you want to have a link on all the detail, all what I've said, the details, we have a link which I've provided there, which will link you to all our database at our county. So thank you very much for listening to me, and God bless you.